Welcome to Pet Tech, the podcast show about new technologies to help us care for our pets. I am your host, Ken Jones. Welcome to the show that helps you apply today's technology to make the care of your pets easier, safer, and more fun. I am the Pet Tech Guy, and this is the program where we talk about electronic tracking devices, high-tech nutrition, aquarium gear, filter systems, heating, lighting, computer controls, and much, much more. Technology is the application of science. On Pet Tech, we explore the science behind pet products and services. We also bring you the new and wonderful in the world of pets. If you have a suggestion for a topic or product to discuss on the show, email me at pettech@petliferadio.com. That's pettech, P-E-T-T-E-C-H, at petliferadio, petliferadio.com. I would love to hear from you. And just to make our show even more fun, I award prizes and discounts on pet products. You can win. Visit the show notes page of each episode and listen at the end of the show for instructions on how to claim your discounts and prizes. Today on episode 3, we're going to learn about a food supplement called Glucosamine and a new iApp for your mobile device to help you locate dog-friendly places to stay and play when you travel. Well, you know, I have a dog named Tucker, and he's 4 years old, and he's quite the athlete. He just loves to run. I've never seen a dog that seems to get so much joy out of running, and every time he's gone outside for a run, he comes in, big smile on his face, panting like crazy, but he's just so happy. He's not always going to be athletic, though. I've had other dogs, and they get older, and I know often they have trouble getting up and standing, walking, hip problems, joint problems, perhaps. And today we have the pleasure of meeting a person who is the CEO for Liquid Health, a company that produces a product called canine glucosamine. It's a food supplement that helps with this problem. Now, I don't know much more about it than that, but luckily we have Brandon Siggard with us to tell us about it. So, Brandon, hello. Thank you for coming and joining us here on the show.
Thank you for having me.
Can you tell us a little bit about your company? Well, before you do, I almost forgot. I like to find out about people's pets. And do you have a dog at home?
I have cats.
You have cats. All right.
I have cats.
How many cats do you have?
I have 2.
Okay. What's their names?
There's Snickers and there's Brutus.
Okay, Snickers and Brutus. And you have a business that provides food supplements, as I understand it, for people. In fact, in addition to animals.
That is correct. Yes, we have a human segment and a pet segment.
So tell us how the company got going. And my notes indicated you were founded in 1991.
Yes, in 1991 we developed our first liquid vitamins for people. And we introduced several other liquid vitamins at that time. It was kind of a new, novel idea. No one really had liquids at that time. We didn't get into the pet market until the late 90s.
Why did you get into the pet market?
Well, we introduced the first liquid glucosamine MSM combo product to the market for people, in late, I think it was 1998, with moderate success. But then we had several people come to us telling us what great success they've had with it for giving it to their dogs.
So customers themselves took it upon themselves to say, "Hey, this is helping me. Maybe it'll help Fido."
Exactly.
And then apparently it did.
Yeah, we started getting questions we didn't know how to answer. How much do I give to my dog? What's the dosage for a dog? It doesn't give any indication of that. It works so well for me. I want to do the same for my dog because I can get up the stairs now, but my dog can't now. We got with a couple of veterinarians and. We have a couple really enthusiastic customers. Travel to a lot of the dog shows and feed shows and barrel racing for horses. We have horse products as well, and use our products for helping with performance races as well as a lot of breeders, especially labs. The breeds that tend to have more problems with arthritis, hip dysplasia, things like that.
You've kind of branched out into providing these products for numerous kinds of animals. So it must there's got to be something to this glucosamine. Can you tell us a little bit about the chemistry, the science behind it? What the heck is glucosamine, and where does it come from, and why does it help with this kind of problem?
Glucosamine is it's an amino sugar. It's one of the main chemicals. It goes for people and for dogs, but one of the main constituents that actually produces cartilage in your joint. For people and dogs, especially as they get older, they don't produce as much glucosamine, and therefore, as the cartilage breaks down, it doesn't get replenished. So what glucosamine actually does is it actually, if your body's not making it, you take it, and it causes your cartilage, in your joints to rebuild.
Wow, so this is a natural chemical that our own bodies make, but the problem is when we get older, we just don't make enough of it?
Right, and also there's a lot of different breeds that process of making, the different breeds and things like that they don't start out pretty young with very little cartilage. Hip dysplasia being kind of the main problem there. So
yeah, that was one of my top questions: is how does this liquid glucosamine food supplement help with something like hip dysplasia, which is a very common problem for a lot of the larger dogs. So it does help with that.
It does, yeah. We've had lots of customers say they gave it to their dog for a few months, and after just a short period of time, they were able to avoid having surgery or other, a lot more costly procedures done to help remedy that.
Well, it could actually extend the life of an animal that's suffering from this kind of problem, because a dog that can't get up, I mean, that's what I remember about my Afghans when they got old. The biggest problem was they just had such a hard time getting up anymore.
I mean, it definitely improves the quality of life for the animal.
Yeah, I wish I'd known about this quite a few years ago. But so how long have we known about glucosamine being helpful for this kind of problem?
It started to come out again in the late 90s. It started to become really popular. Not until I think it was 1998, the GATE study. It was a very, they spent millions of dollars on it. It was a multi-agency clinical study supported by NIH to actually test, and this was done again in people, not in dogs, but to test the efficacy and how well glucosamine and chondroitin supplements work to help with osteoarthritis primarily, and to show that, hey, this is quite helpful.
That's great. And yeah, you mentioned a point that we should probably bring up is that I understand that you have 5 active ingredients in this product. It's not just glucosamine, but there's more to it than that.
Right there, it's kind of a combination of certain items. So as I mentioned the glucosamine before, which rebuilds the cartilage. We have 2 other ingredients in there that also aid in the cartilage, which is chondroitin sulfate and hyaluronic acid. Now, chondroitin sulfate was also studied in this GAIT, or the GATE study, as a highly effective ingredient for promoting joint comfort. Primarily what the chondroitin does is it takes in fluid surrounding the joints and uses that to actually lubricate the joint. And that's also a natural ingredient. The glucosamine typically comes from shellfish. We have a product that has it available from corn, so if there's any allergies.
How much of it? I thought that was kind of interesting that you had the same product basically for the same kind of treatment for the same problem, but you had a kind of a vegetarian source as well as an animal source for this chemical. How often does it that a dog is allergic to shellfish?
Not very often.
Does that come up?
What is more often a problem is if for some reason they need to avoid beef, or there's a lot of concern in the marketplace, about BSE or mad cow, and the only source for chondroitin sulfate, which again is highly effective, but the only source from it is from cows, from the bovine trachea. So we have different variations of our formula available. We have a glucosamine vegetarian product for dogs that does not have any chondroitin, and the shellfish is, the glucosamine is not sourced from shellfish, rather it's from corn.
Right. Well, is this a product that a dog owner needs to get a prescription from their vet for?
No, absolutely not. Most of our products are sold in natural health pet food type stores, or groomers, or veterinarians, certain places like that. But there is no prescription. It's all natural ingredients. There's no drugs in it.
So at worst, it's harmless. There's no reason to worry about trying it out if you have a dog that's got this kind of problem.
Right, exactly. There's a lot of the prescription drugs out there for dogs that some veterinarians give can do a lot of liver damage or be very harmful. They have to get liver tests, and it's very costly.
Yeah, I always worry about those kind of side effects.
Those products just address the pain. They don't address the issue, which is the lack of glucosamine being produced in the joint. So what this does is it fixes the root of the problem naturally, rather than giving a harmful drug that it's kind of hurting the dog.
Yeah, that has side effects and so forth. Yeah. So just to be clear for our listeners, if they have an older dog that's having a little trouble moving around and seems to be suffering from stiffness or joint problems, then there's no reason why they shouldn't be giving this product a try.
Absolutely not. We have a lot of our customers actually take our dog formula themselves for them and their dogs. So.
Well, that isn't something you recommend in your labeling, is the way I read it.
No, we have human products with better flavorings, more attuned to.
There you go, something a little more palatable, perhaps.
Yeah, this our formulas have either organic beef flavoring or no flavoring.
Well, now, is this ever a problem? Yeah, obviously, this can be a problem with horses. Is this ever a problem with cats as well?
It can be, and we actually have a cat dropper product. That I give one of my cats. The other cat certainly doesn't need anything, but we have one for cats as well called Joint Perfection.
I would just guess because they're so lightweight and agile to begin with that they don't tend to have as much of a tendency towards joint problems as a big dog would have. But I don't know.
Pretty much any animal as they get older, but dogs definitely have much greater affinity to having joint problems, especially the older they get, and again, depending on the breed, pretty much a given.
In your literature, something like 25% of dogs are going to have this kind of problem.
That's what we found. It's a very popular item.
Well, this is very good to know about. Well, your bottle, your labeling, I must say, I got your brochure and so forth. Your literature is very attractive and detailed and easy to understand, and the bottle itself is kind of unique. You want to tell us about that?
It is. We just have it's a self-dosing bottle. It has a little filling chamber on the top, so you can measure out, depending on your dog's size, the amount you need to give them. So you just squeeze the bottle, it fills into that little chamber, and I guess you kind of have to see it to understand what I'm talking about. But
it's a little hard to describe without pictures.
It's got two caps, but it makes it a lot easier to pour, so you don't accidentally give them too much.
Yeah, so you don't need measuring cups and tablespoons and all that kind of stuff. It's actually just a nice, convenient, easy way to dose it, dose it right out of the bottle.
Yeah, you just pour it right on their food, and we never have problems with dogs not being willing to eat it. So you just pour it on their food, and you feed them, and you're done. So.
Well, Brandon, I'm glad to be introduced to this, to know about it in case Tucker he's going to get older, and who knows, he may not always be so athletic. And I'm sure a lot of people out there have older dogs that run into this kind of problem and need some help. So this is really good to know about. Yeah, I believe you have donated some product for our listeners for our giveaway. 3 big bottles. I think the retail value on those is $33, $34. And we're going to give those away. We'll announce at the end of the show just how we're going to do that. But our listeners can win a free bottle here of glucosamine and try it out for their own dog. So I want to thank you very much for that. And can you tell us how they can get more information about this product and your company?
You can visit our website, liquidhealthpets.com. You can also call our toll-free number, 800-995-6607. We've got live reps answering the phone and happy to answer any questions you might have. We can help you find a store to get it at. We don't sell it direct, but we can recommend local stores in your area or websites that you can pick it up from. Or if you have any questions, we can send you some literature.
Terrific. And you have a presence on Facebook and Twitter at Liquid Health Inc. Is that right?
We do. You can go to liquidhealthpets.com or liquidhealthinc.com, and there's our Twitter and Facebook links. You can sign up to get more information. We do certain giveaways and promotions on there as well.
Well, that's terrific. Brandon, I want to thank you. That's Brandon Siggard, our CEO of Liquid Health, Inc., with their glucosamine product for joint problems. Thank you very much for your time and for being on the show and talking to us about this.
Thanks for having me.
Pet Tech will be right back after these messages. Hey, if you like what I'm doing here at Pet Tech, I invite you to buy me a grande cup of coffee. Your support will help me grow the show. In return, I will read on the air during an upcoming episode a call-out, a short message from you to promote any pet club or group, animal protection group, or environmental cause you like. Just send your message with a check for $10 to Ken Jones, P.O. Box 61, Murphys, California, 95247. That's P.O. Box 61, Murphys, Murphys, California, 95247. That grande coffee is sure going to keep me going. Thanks. Hi, this is Ken Jones from the Prince of Ponds podcast. The frogs are shaking the shakers, the turtles are hitting the slapsticks, and the koi are blowing the trumpets. It's party time here at Prince of Ponds. Out under the swaying palm trees, the pond fairies are kicking up their heels and spinning in delight in the twilight. Here on Pet Life Radio, it's time to celebrate the magic of ponds, waterfalls, fountains, and water gardens at the Prince of Ponds podcast. Pet Tech is back, so now on with the show. When I'm out traveling with my buddy Tucker and, we need a place to stay, it's really hard to know where you can go with your dog. And if you just want to stop at the park and have a run or at the beach and take a break from your travels, again, it's hard to know where it's okay to go with your dog. And I know of a company that solved this problem, and they have a really nifty iPhone app that can tell you where it's okay to go with your dogs. And so we're going to talk with the representative from the company's called I Love Dogs, and they have this I Love Dogs Friendly, it's I Love Dog Friendly iPhone app. And we're going to talk with Tony Shanks about this. And Tony, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Well, Tony, before we get going, I'd like to know how this came about and have you tell us a little bit about this app, because it sounds like a real convenience. It seems like anybody with a pet that's traveling wouldn't want to go anywhere without something like this. So it seems like it really serves a great need. But Tony, first tell me yourself. Do you have pets at home?
I do. I have one dog.
Well, what kind of dog?
It's a little lab. It's kind of smaller than most labs, but he has it. We have a dog sitter that sits him, and she is the one that said, I like the neighborhood that you live in, but I don't know, I never know where to go, what's dog friendly and what's not. And I thought, well, yeah, there should be an app for that. And we're like, well, why don't we just do one?
There should be an app for that.
Yeah, because we have a website that shows dog friendly properties. So, it just seemed natural, since most people browse on their phones now than they do on laptops or on desktops. We should just put together an app for that purpose. And
by the way, what's your dog's name? Gidget. Okay. Yeah. So, you already had a website that advised travelers with dogs. Is that right?
Right.
And did that website serve a similar purpose? Did it actually, is it a searchable site that people could go and enter a city and find out where they could stay with their dog?
It is. But like I said, when you're on if you're in the middle of a trip, or you're at the airport, or you're in your car, you don't have Wi-Fi, so trying to get on your laptop is kind of a hassle. So
sure. For travelers, mobile is the obvious choice. That makes a perfect sense. Yeah. Well, can you tell us a little bit, before we get into the app itself, a little bit about your company history? I understand you're about 5 years old. What do you folks do?
I Love Dogs was started as a company that manufactures and sells dog vitamins, very high-end, made in America, all natural, organic supplements for dogs. And out of that, we just kept growing, out of pretty much our user base. We have a website called I Love Dogs, which is sort of I like to call it the AP news of dog news. Like it's late breaking news. We've broken a lot of stories for other outlets. When McDonald's had the Greyhound commercial, and then they pulled it, we were the first site that a lot of press sources came to for source information.
Huh.
And so we've had a lot of stuff like that. When we do Michael Vick stories, we get a lot of response. And out of that, our users just basically said, well, can you tell me a good vet in this area? Or can you tell me if there's a coffee house in this area? And so just listening to our users, we expanded what we did. And, and we became the whole suite. So we advise dogs on their health, or pet owners on their health, and where they can take their pets, if they're getting checked up on their health or if they're unhealthy, and then where to take them when they travel. So it's just sort of an entire suite of sites there to cover all of the pet owner's needs. And all three of those sites grew for us, and then, like I said, the app was the next natural progression.
Yeah. So you're a web-centric business.
Yeah.
And you started with providing food supplements, and
yes.
And one of the more novel things you've grown into is becoming journalists for the dog world. Sounds like is that right? Is what
Very
that
much
fair
so.
to say?
Yes.
Yeah, I think that's intriguing. That's you don't hear about that, every day.
Right.
I think that's kind of neat. And I've visited your websites, and it does seem like you truly kind of present yourself as the center of the dog world. I mean, anything in the way of news or stories or advice, and also what's really helpful, of course, is connections, whether it's veterinarians or places to stay when you travel.
Right.
So that's really cool. That's very useful. It's obvious you've been listening to your viewers and your customers.
Yeah, we have a pretty loyal base, and then when people get in touch with us that don't have any information or need information from us, we're pretty accessible, and we're pretty quick to help those people, as opposed to some of the other companies that can't be bothered by customized questions to them, or don't get back to their users in 4 or 5 days or whatever. Like we're really responsive to our loyal base, and we just keep growing that every day because of that. We've gotten really good word of mouth, and like I said, just the press treats us really well.
And you're on social media. I see you make use of Facebook and Twitter and YouTube too.
And YouTube and Pinterest, and Pinterest has been a really large growth base for us, because a lot of people are switching from Facebook to Pinterest, or they have dual accounts.
Yeah, sure enough.
Yeah.
So to be clear for our listeners, you folks have you have that I know of 3 websites. ilovedogs.com, which is I guess your kind of your central site, right, and your news site. You have ilovedogfriendly.com,
right,
which is
a
travel thing. Yeah, and then you have the findavet.us. Is that right?
Right, which is finding vets, be it just general vet or specialized or a clinic. I mean, we have a database of over 30,000 businesses in the Find a Vet. So if it exists, it's probably in there.
Yeah, so you could use that if your dog is ill and you want to find a specialist to get a second opinion or something, you could use it for that.
Right.
Or if you're out traveling and your dog gets ill, or you, for some reason you feel he should be checked out by a vet, you could find out where the vets are in your area.
Right, and that's the next site that we're going to develop an app for. It just seems, like I said, logical as well.
Yes, indeed. Yeah. Well, okay, let's zero in on the iPhone app. How long ago did you start work on this?
Let's see. We started work on it about middle of last year, and then we deployed it. I think the.
Did you folks subcontract that out to an app?
Well, I'm the
specialist that writes those, or did you do that yourself?
I'm the new media and marketing guy. I have a ton of web experience and development experience, but I actually had a friend of mine who's developed a ton of apps for Apple help us out. Between us and him, we hammered it out and tested it, and then we had a couple of people outside of here test it for us, and then once we liked where it was, we sent it to Apple, and they loved it.
Now, tell us how what kind of devices will this work on, to be precise?
There's an iPhone app, we have an iPad app, and we have an Android app. So we've got an app to fit those 3 platforms.
Terrific. And it's been out how long now?
The iPhone app was deployed in October of last year, and then the Android and iPad we put out in I want to say December of last year.
So basically, they're all still pretty new. And one of the neat things about these apps is these mobile apps are pretty inexpensive. How much do you charge for this?
Oh, we don't charge anything for the apps.
It's
not
free.
The first generation. Yes, free.
For now, at least.
Yeah,
well,
we wanted to put it out there and let people have it and give us feedback and, let us know if there's any business. We get a lot of submissions daily from people that say, here's another business, and that'll probably keep happening because, there are businesses that open up every day that are dog friendly.
Well, I
no
see
way to
here.
Track them.
Yeah, and you already have about 18,000, according to what I'm reading here. 18,000 places you can go with your dog.
Right.
Well, that would keep you busy.
Right, and we must get at least 5 emails a day. Like, here's another one, which is great, because that's the only way we can find out about it.
I bet that never ends.
Right.
Do you hear much from the proprietors themselves, or is it mostly from dog owners that just say, hey, we stayed at a place last night? Add this.
It's a little bit of both. Sometimes I don't know if who it is. It's just here's a business, and so I'm not sure if it's a pedestrian or if it's an actual business owner.
Well, now I understand that the AAA, the Automobile Association of America, says that in their surveys that a lot of dog-owning travelers find it difficult to find a place to stay.
Yeah, they do.
Let's see, a third of travelers say it's hard to find a place to stay with their dog. So this is going to make it a whole lot easier. Tell us a little bit about the app. What do you see when you use it? What does it do for you?
Well, it's a super simple interface from the user end. I mean, we've broken down businesses into category types, which is hotel, restaurant, campgrounds, dog parks, miscellaneous. If you feel like you want to go into the category, but basically when you first go into it, you either enter a zip code or city state, or you just do geolocation, which is it sort of asks you if you want the app to allow to use your current location or not. Most people always hit yes, and then based on that, it gives you a listing of nearby businesses within a 30 to 50 mile radius. And it breaks those down by business types, and then you just scroll through, until you find one, and then it gives you a map with a marker on it, and then you can, flip it over. It uses the Google API, so you can get directions from where you are to that business. It also gives you a website if there's one available, a phone number, an address. So it basically directs you right to that business and gives you all the information you need.
Everything you would need to get to it.
Right.
Is there any information in there about the prices involved? I know often these places charge extra for the pet. Is there that kind of information too?
There's not yet. That's one thing that we want to. That's actually one of the points we want to put. When we make this thing a premium app and start charging for it, is drill down a little bit more specifics. Like, is it, can anybody bring a pet, or is there a deposit? Little things like that. And if you do bring a pet, are there size restrictions, or are there pet type restrictions? Because, some people have said, this is great, I use this for my cat. I don't know why you would want to travel with a cat, but some people do.
But you probably have to own a cat to understand that.
But she said, there's no cat friendly, and I think, well, maybe there's a reason for that. But some people have used it for that, or for, if they're just traveling with any type of pet. So, right now we at least.
Well, I've been known to travel with some very a wide variety of pets. So the need's out there, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Well, that sounds great. That sounds great.
But
so you have plans underway to add some extra features and
we also have
a little more sophisticated even.
We have a feature. We also have a feature now that is that pulls from our site, and it's a weekly column that we call Travel Tips, which just lets users go on and if you're traveling with a dog in southern Florida, or if you are taking a dog by air, then who are some of the best best pet taxis to call. I mean, we've got over a year and a half worth of travel tips on there that you can access from the app as well. So, and that's something that's free right now.
Well, that sounds terrific. I'm looking forward to getting my hands on one. I think it'd be very useful, and I appreciate you taking the time to fill us in on this. Before we go, tell us again about, obviously for an iPhone, you would go to iTunes to get your own copy of this app for free, right?
Right, for your iPhone or your iPad, and then on Android, you just search Dog Friendly. The actual name of the app is Dog Friendly. Dog Friendly. Right.
And to get more information about this, people can go to your website, and that's
ilovedogfriendly.com.
ilovedogfriendly.com.
That's it.
Yeah. Is there a phone number or any other? You're on Facebook and Twitter. I guess they look for I Love Dogs there.
Yep, I love Facebook.com/I Love Dogs Inc. INC. But if you go to I Love Dog Friendly, everything is on the homepage. It directs you anywhere you need to go. It directs you to our Twitter, to our
That's
Facebook.
Good, yeah.
Has contact number. There's a link to the app. So it's I Love People Friendly too.
That's terrific. Well, thank you very much, Tony, for telling us about this.
You bet.
Some of you listeners are simply pet parents, and that's great. Some of you are pet hobbyists, and some of you work in the pet industry. Well, I have a pet project I want your help on. We all know that pet hobbies that involve the raising and breeding of animals is good for kids. It teaches responsibility, discipline, and encourages learning. It gets kids outside and connecting with other kids with similar interests. Well, I have heard industry leaders lament that interest by our youth in pet hobbies is down. The future of the industry is in question because fewer and fewer children are engaging in pet hobbies. They are seduced away by today's electronic gadgets and video games. I know this is true in my own home. Getting my two sons to get off the games and go outside is a constant struggle. I hear that pet clubs and aquarium societies don't have as many young members as they used to. Indeed, their membership is only getting older, and some worry about where the new membership will come from. Well, I have a great idea for a solution to this problem, but it represents a lot of work. And before I proceed, I want your opinion. I want to hear about your experience and concerns. Is this really a problem? Are fewer and fewer children taking up pet hobbies? Do you think something needs to be done about it for the health of children and the future of the pet industry? If so, please let me hear your thoughts. Email me at pettech@petliferadio.com. What about your chapter of the Breed Club, 4-H, Scout Troop, or Aquarium Society? Are kids' participation in pet hobbies waning? I will do my best to relay your thoughts to the leadership of the pet industry and just maybe put my idea for a solution into action. Let me hear from you at pettech@petliferadio.com about this important question. Thank you. Listeners, in these early days of the show, it is easier now than it will ever be to win free pet merchandise. I have boxes of beautiful brand new products sitting here waiting for a new home, donated by show guests. Yours for the asking. It's easy. Tell your friends so they can get theirs too. The simple directions are on each episode and on the show notes for each episode on our websites. Got a question? Call me, 209-728-8208. Email me at pettech@petliferadio.com. From episode 1, we have a $100 discount. That's 25% off the Avian Aqua Clean, simply for mentioning our show, Pet Tech, when you place your order. And you can win a free CD of the soothing stories and music for the solo dog. From episode 2, you can enter the drawing to win a free bottle of Clear FX Pro filter media for your aquarium. And you can win a free bottle of OxyCharge stain and odor remover for your home. From today's episode, episode 3, you can win your free bottle of canine glucosamine. Go to the show Pet Tech Twitter page. It's Pet Tech. Click the follow button, and then click retweet to retweet our tweet announcing the release of this episode, episode 3. I will get back to you when you win to get your shipping address. This drawing closes April 15th, 2012. Like what I'm doing here at Pet Tech, I ask that you leave a little testimonial at our iTunes page. I invite the garden and pond lovers among you to check out my other podcast called Prince of Ponds, where we discuss ponds, waterfalls, fountains, and all sorts of ornamental water features. You can hear it at princeofponds.com, on iTunes, and on the great PetLifeRadio.com. Until next time, don't forget to give your pets a little lovin' today.